opportunity. I have zero problem with this dude saying that because the majority of the players in the NFL feel that way. Whether or not it's true remains to be seen. We won't know that until he gets his opportunity. But I don't think it's fair to criticize or demonize the young man for making the statement that he made yesterday.
We're Unsportsmanlike, presented by Progressive Insurance.
All right, Dawg Pound, lean in close. Right now, the narrative unfolding in Cleveland is more than just roster shuffle or preseason hype. It's the birth of a storm, and at the center of it sits Shedeur Sanders. He stands third on the Browns' depth chart, behind Joe Flacco and Dillon Gabriel. His role? Officially, scout team quarterback. His mindset? Absolutely not content. That tension, that fire bubbling under the surface, is where our story begins. When Sanders told reporters through ESPN Cleveland that he was not comfortable with being a scout team player, he delivered more than a quote. He handed us a window into his soul. "This isn't my end goal," he said. "I'm going to make the best of it and enjoy my moments, but I'm ready for my opportunity." That voice of impatience, not arrogance, echoes his belief. He expects to be more. To many outsiders, the Browns' decision to keep him behind Flacco and Gabriel seems almost sacrificial. During the preseason, Sanders went 17 of 29 for 152 yards and 2 touchdowns with 0 interceptions, flashes of precision and self-control that begged for more reps. Yet Cleveland's quarterback room remains locked for now. This choice hasn't escaped criticism. Hall of Famer Eric Dickerson recently urged the Browns to simply cut Sanders so he might thrive elsewhere. He called the team's handling of him horrible. Analysts and media voices have echoed the frustration. How can a potential breakthrough talent be left on the bench, especially when other starters in the league are struggling? Bronzed in college, Sanders was once projected as a first-rounder. Instead, he slipped to the 5th round, pick 144. And now he's fighting for recognition from his own team. Here's where it gets electric. Sanders is throwing subtle shade. He's saying he can play better than some of the starters in the league today. He's not just waiting, he's pressuring. "I know I'm capable of doing better than some current NFL QBs," he told media. To put that plainly, it's a challenge to the status quo in Cleveland's QB room. It's also signaling his belief that his journey to greatness will not be passive. It will be earned, demanded, fought for. None of this is accidental. It's strategic. By vocalizing his ambition, Sanders is forcing eyeballs onto his path. He's staking claim to momentum, framing himself not as a passive choice, but as a compelling alternative. And in a league full of turnover, objections, and controversy, that's potent. But as with every rising quarterback, he must balance that fire with maturity, discipline, and delivery. That's where the weight of expectation lands. And the Browns? They are being tested. Their offensive line just took a serious hit. Left tackle Dawg Jones is lost for the season with a torn ACL. In response, Cleveland assigned Thayer Munford Jr. to reinforce the front, a move to patch that gap. That matters, because if Sanders or Gabriel or even Flacco wants to move the offense vertically, they'll need protection up front. Then there's the gamble the Browns made in the past, the Watson contract. Deshaun Watson's Achilles injuries have plagued his ability to stay healthy, and the salary cap ramifications of his massive deal still cast shadows over roster flexibility. Cleveland doesn't have infinite margin for error. Each decision about who to play, when to play, and how to develop young talent becomes amplified. So that's our landscape, Dawg Pound. We have a young gunman on standby with raw edge and fire. We have a franchise juggling injuries, legacy contracts, and limited room for missteps. And at the heartbeat of all this is Shedeur, slightly boxed in, yet refusing to be silenced.
Let's be real, Dawg Pound. The Browns' quarterback room is not just about depth, it's about identity. And Shedeur Sanders' current position as scout team QB behind Flacco and Dillon Gabriel reveals something deeper about how this organization balances raw talent against risk, system fit, and locker room control. Dillon Gabriel, the rookie from Oklahoma, taken in the 3rd round, was always expected to sit for a year and learn. He's known for his poise, short area accuracy, and clean footwork. But what you don't often hear, in camp, he struggled with deep ball placement, and in the preseason, he was serviceable, not spectacular. Joe Flacco, a veteran who brings stability and reads defenses like a coach. But if he sees real game time for multiple weeks, something has gone sideways in Cleveland's season. He's not a long-term solution, and we all know that. So where does that leave Shedeur? Here's the cold truth. Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry have a philosophical dilemma. Shedeur Sanders wasn't their guy. He's a 5th-round pick with media spotlight, famous bloodlines, and a chip on his shoulder. He draws attention just by being in the room. The Browns love order, systems, schemes, quiet development, not chaos. But Sanders, he invites chaos, not as a distraction, but as a competitor. And sometimes, that's exactly what a flat offense needs. Now remember, this is a quarterback who, just last year at Colorado, under his father Deion Sanders, was the show. He faced SEC-caliber pressure, carried a shaky offensive line, and still dropped over 3,000 yards and 27 touchdowns in a season where he was hit more than any QB in the country. He knows pressure. He thrives in doubt. And yet, NFL scouts still dropped him to day 3, questioning not his arm, but his attitude, his maturity, his readiness to play within structure. But let me ask you this. When has structure ever won you a playoff game by itself? The Browns are chasing more than respectability. They're chasing relevance in a division with Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, and a rebuilt Steelers defense. And if Watson continues to battle injuries or underperform, there is no excuse not to have a dynamic backup plan waiting in the wings. The fact that Shedeur isn't even QB2 right now should bother every Browns fan. Not because Gabriel isn't talented, but because Shedeur, despite all the noise, might actually be the better fit if the season starts slipping. Let's talk fit. Stefanski's offense is built around efficiency, bootlegs, and intermediate control. Shedeur has elite timing on crossing routes, high IQ versus zone coverage, and isn't afraid to take risks when the pocket collapses. In joint practices and preseason drives, he showed command. He showed flash, but most importantly, he showed readiness. So why the hesitancy? Sources around the league say there's caution due to locker room management. Coaches don't want to send mixed signals. Promote Shedeur too early and it looks like favoritism. Leave him too low and it might crush momentum. It's a tightrope. And to be fair, the Browns aren't the only team juggling this. Look around the NFL. Malik Willis in Tennessee, Michael Penix Jr. in Atlanta, Bo Nix in Denver, all facing different versions of the same problem. How do you develop a quarterback who isn't your starter but might be your best future shot? For Cleveland, the challenge is steeper because time is short. The Browns have one of the best defenses in football. Myles Garrett is in his prime. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah is flying. Denzel Ward, if healthy, is a shutdown force. This defense is championship ready right now. That means the offense needs more than placeholders, it needs playmakers. If Shedeur can give them that edge, that unpredictability, that fire, then why let ego or politics keep him down? Here's what the Browns need to ask. Are they playing it too safe? Let's also not forget, the schedule doesn't get easier. Baltimore and Cincinnati are lurking. Injuries are already hitting key positions. If Deshaun Watson is not 100% and Flacco is limited, you need a live wire option. You need someone who wants the moment. And Shedeur Sanders wants the moment. But for now, he waits. Watching film, learning the system, working with scout team units, staying sharp, and speaking just loud enough to let us know he's not settling. He's not here to play third fiddle. He's here to eventually lead. So Dawg Pound, let me ask you, do we have the guts to demand his chance? You've seen the flashes. You've heard his words. Now, as the season creeps into must-win territory, the Browns coaching staff will have to look at each other and ask, are we leaving potential greatness on the bench just to protect the pecking order?
Here we are, Dawg Pound. This is the part of the story where you either fold or you go all in. Because if you look beyond the headlines, the quotes, and the politics, one truth becomes impossible to ignore. Shedeur Sanders might already be the Browns' best bet for the future, and the clock is ticking. Let's talk hard realities. The Browns are 2-1 heading into Week 4. Deshaun Watson's availability and rhythm remain question marks. Joe Flacco isn't built to carry this team in December, and Dillon Gabriel, while promising, doesn't bring the arm talent and confidence to lift the franchise if things start to crumble. The AFC North isn't waiting for Cleveland to figure it out. They're coming fast and they're coming physical. This isn't the time for safe. This is the time for smart. And smart might mean bold. Now, I know what you're thinking, but Shedeur hasn't played meaningful NFL snaps. True, but neither did Brock Purdy when the 49ers took a chance. Neither did Gardner Minshew when he lit up the league for a few months. Sometimes greatness doesn't arrive with fanfare. It arrives when someone dares to say, what if we're already holding the right card? Let's break it down. Shedeur Sanders has the physical tools, we've established that. His release is quick, his mechanics are clean, and his pocket awareness is beyond his years. But that's not why fans should care. The reason Shedeur might matter more than we realize is timing. He is coming up just as this Browns team is cresting. The defense is elite, the roster is deeper than it's been in 15 years, the front office has built a roster that doesn't need a superhero quarterback, just one with guts, command, and touch. Now look at the schedule ahead. Ravens, 49ers, Steelers, Bengals. If Deshaun Watson misses even 2 of those games, the Browns need spark, not survival. If you plug in Sanders, you're not just buying insurance, you're investing in possibility. He can extend plays, he can push the ball, and most importantly, he believes he can win. And yeah, there's always the trade question. Teams around the league are watching this unfold. There are whispers from insiders that the Falcons, Raiders, and even the Vikings might be interested in Sanders if the Browns make him available. But let me ask you something. Would you trade a future starter for a mid-round pick again? We've seen how that plays out. This is the NFL. QBs don't grow on trees. You don't give away upside unless your current plan is airtight. And nothing about the Browns' QB room screams airtight. Instead of putting him on the block, why not build around him? Why not let him take real QB2 reps? Let him run with the twos. Let him absorb the pressure on game day. Let him earn it in front of the Dawg Pound. Because this fan base, it responds to effort, to fire, to players who don't fake it. And whatever you want to say about Shedeur Sanders, one thing is clear. He's not faking anything. He's hungry, he's vocal, and he wants it now. This could go 2 ways. The Browns can sit on him, stifle his growth, keep him quiet, keep him waiting, and maybe he fades out. Or they can embrace the noise, embrace the friction, embrace that this kid wants the ball when the season's on the line. That kind of confidence, mixed with skill, doesn't come often. Look, maybe Shedeur isn't the final answer, maybe he still needs more time, but if this team doesn't test that theory soon, they may miss a moment that changes everything. The NFL doesn't reward patience, it rewards preparation and boldness. Sanders is preparing. Maybe it's time the Browns are bold enough to let him prove what he's worth. So I'll end it with this. The Browns have a decision to make. Not next year, not next offseason, now. Do we treat Shedeur Sanders like a gamble, or do we recognize him as a possible game changer? Let me know what you think, Dawg Pound. Drop your comments below. Should the Browns elevate Shedeur now or wait it out? Hit that like if you believe he deserves his shot. And don't forget to subscribe for more real talk straight from the heart of the fan base. This is Dawg Pound Daily, and we're just getting started.